Two very good friends went on separate paths. Amina to Japan for her studies, and Katie into early motherhood with Paul, a man she barely knew. Years later, fate reunites them, but their renewed friendship hides cracks filled with envy, secrets, and betrayal. Katie, now struggling with the weight of her choices, envies Amina's polished success and stable relationship with her fiancé Daniel. Beneath her friendly facade, Katie jealousy worsens. Determined to disrupt Amina's happiness, she crosses boundaries that should never be crossed. Secret texts to Daniel turn into bold flirtations, and when rejected, Katie's desperation takes a sinister turn. What begins as a friendship rekindled spirals into a chilling game of deceit and sabotage. As Amina starts to notice the cracks in Katie's behavior, she's faced with a shocking realization: the friend she trusted is willing to destroy everything she holds dear. Please subscribe to our channel and like the video. We need your support. Now let us continue with the story. Amina and Katie had been best friends since childhood. They lived in the same neighborhood, went to the same schools, and shared countless memories. Amina was the studious one, always with her nose in a book, dreaming of exploring the world. Katie, on the other hand, was lively and loved the thrill of parties, clubbing, and dating. Though their interests were different, they were very good friends. As they grew older, their paths began to diverge. Amina's hard work paid off when she received an opportunity to study abroad in Japan. Excited but bittersweet, she bid Katie farewell, promising to keep in touch. Katie, meanwhile, continued her vibrant lifestyle. She wasn't doing poorly in school, but her heart wasn't in academics. Soon she met someone special, and her life took an unexpected turn. Katie became pregnant. Her parents, upset and disappointed, told her she needed to take responsibility for her choices. With nowhere else to go, she moved in with Paul, the father of her child. She tried her best to adjust to this new life, but part of her missed the carefree days of her youth, juggling a child and work and housework. Years later, fate brought the two friends together at a mutual friend's baby shower. Amina, now a polished young woman with a successful career, was shocked to see Katie. "Amina, is that you?" Katie called out, her voice filled with surprise. They hugged tightly, and Amina noticed the little girl by Katie's side. "Who's this? Is she yours?" Amina asked. "Yes, this is Clara. She just turned 4 last week," Katie said proudly. "Happy belated birthday," Amina said, as she lifts Clara up to hug and kiss her on her cheeks. Amina's heart ached, realizing how much she had missed in her friend's life. They talked a bit more, and Katie asked, "What about you? Any plan yet? Are you seeing anyone?" "Yes," Amina replied, showing a photo of a man on her phone. "This is Dan, my fiancé." "He's cute," Katie said promptly. They exchanged phone numbers and promised to catch up. But while Amina felt happy to reconnect, Katie's smile masked an underlying jealousy. Seeing Amina's success stirred something bitter inside her. Katie began contacting Amina frequently, suggesting meetups. Despite her busy schedule as the managing director of a multinational corporation, Amina made time for her old friend. She believed Katie was just trying to rebuild their friendship, unaware of the envy brewing beneath. One day, Katie asked, "When are we going to see this mysterious busy Dan?" "Yes," Amina said with a smile. "Daniel. He's a wonderful man, but he's very busy. Once things calm down, I'll arrange for us all to meet." Katie's curiosity sparked. "That would be nice. A double date, perhaps?" she suggested. Amina agreed, unaware that Katie's intentions were far from innocent. Amina arranged a dinner for the four of them at a cozy upscale restaurant. Daniel, her fiancé, joined her, while Katie arrived with Paul. The evening seemed pleasant at first. They laughed, shared stories, and enjoyed the meal. Daniel, ever the gentleman, insisted on paying the bill. "Thank you," Katie said sweetly, her eyes lingering on Daniel a moment too long. That night, Katie couldn't stop talking about the dinner when they returned home. "Did you see how posh that place was?" she said to Paul. "Amina and her fiancé must be loaded," Katie continued, oblivious to Paul's discomfort. "And did you notice how Dan was so charming? He practically doted Amina. She's lucky to have him. He looks so perfect with her," she added. Paul shifted again, this time more noticeably. "Yeah, I noticed," he muttered, trying to keep his tone even. "But we don't need to compare ourselves to them, Katie." Katie didn't pick up on the tension. Instead, she leaned in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "But honestly, I can't help but wonder how they got to that point," she added. "I mean, we're doing fine too, right?" Paul said. Katie waved off his comment with a laugh, not noticing the hurt creeping into Paul's voice. "Yeah, but just think about it. What if we could have that too? A life like theirs. I bet it's amazing." Paul tries to hold back the surge of emotion. It was hard enough to deal with Katie's constant comparisons to Amina, but now it felt like she was questioning his own worth. The evening, which started with good intentions, had quickly turned into something more unsettling for him. Katie began texting Daniel under the guise of friendliness. She took Dan's number, former Paul's phone. Her messages were random and casual at first, but soon they became more frequent and flirtatious. Daniel ignored her advances, but the persistence unsettled him. "Amina, we need to talk," he said one evening. "Katie's been acting strange. She's texting me a lot, and I think it's inappropriate." Amina frowned. "Texting you? Why would she do that?" Daniel hesitated. "She's been flirting with me. I thought you should know." Amina felt a pang of disbelief. Katie was her friend. Surely this was a misunderstanding. Amina took a deep breath, trying to process Daniel's words. Katie, never once imagining that her friend could act in such a way. "Are you sure? Maybe it's just friendly banter. You know how she can be, sometimes a little too outgoing." Daniel's expression was serious, but he softened as he spoke. "I wish it was just that. But it's more than that, Amina. The messages started off innocent, but they've gotten, well, let's just say they're crossing a line." Amina's mind raced. The warmth of the cozy dinner they had. She thought back to how Katie had lingered a little too long on Daniel during the dinner, how she'd complimented him just a bit too much. She had brushed it off at the time, thinking nothing of it. But now, it seemed like her instincts had been right. Amina's stomach twisted with a mix of confusion and betrayal. "I don't understand. Why would she do this? I've always been there for her." Daniel gently placed his hand on hers, offering reassurance. "I don't know, but I think you need to talk to her, Amina." Amina nodded, but a sense of unease settled in her chest. How could Katie betray her like this? She knew this conversation wouldn't be easy, but she couldn't let it slide. Not now. The next day, Amina determined to resolve the issue, called Katie. Her voice was calm, but there was an edge to it that she hadn't expected. "Katie, we need to talk. Can you come over?" Katie agreed, and Amina felt the weight of the conversation bearing down on her. When Katie arrived, Amina didn't waste any time. "I heard from Daniel that you've been texting him. He says it's been more than just friendly messages. What's going on?" Katie's face immediately shifted from its usual playful demeanor to one of surprise, perhaps a little too much surprise. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Amina. I've just been reaching out. We were talking about dinner, and I wanted to ask him about something for work. Amina's heart pounded. She was trying to keep her emotions in check, but the doubt was creeping in. Katie, please, don't lie to me. I know you've been flirting with him. Why? Katie's eyes darted around, but she didn't answer right away. Instead, she shifted the conversation, trying to deflect. I didn't mean anything by it. It was just harmless, Amina. You know I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just giving him compliments. Amina's voice grew firmer. It's not harmless when it crosses boundaries, Katie. This isn't just a little joke between friends. You were disrespecting me, and you were disrespecting our relationship. And I need to understand why. Katie paused, her expression faltering. She opened her mouth to say something, but seemed to catch herself, her eyes finally meeting Amina's. I don't know. I guess I don't know how it come across. I guess I've been feeling left out. You and Daniel, you're so perfect together, and I wanted a part of that. I wanted to feel like I belonged in that picture too. Amina's heart softened for a moment, but the hurt didn't fade. Katie, that's not how you go about it. If you wanted to feel included, there were better ways. But this isn't friendship. You crossed a line. Katie looked down at the floor, her voice small. I'm sorry, Amina. I never meant to hurt you. I just got caught up in whatever this is. I didn't think about the consequences. Amina sighed, the weight of the situation settling heavily on her shoulders. I need some time to think about this, Katie. And I don't think it's appropriate to you to text Dan. He's not your friend. I am you, friend. I can't just forgive and forget right away. You broke my trust. Katie nodded, her eyes welling up. I understand. I messed up. I really am sorry. I didn't mean any harm. Amina watched as Katie left, the door closing softly behind her. Amina didn't know what would happen next, but one thing was clear. Things would never be the same between them again. But as soon as she left Amina's apartment, Katie's apology turned to fury. We'll see about that, she muttered to herself.